I'm feeling a bit fresh after bathing with warm water and taking food after a very tiresome day. Okay, I left 2 kids in the house and I'm feeling sorry for them, but I had prepared food for them and also set some cartoons, very good animations, educational animations, and also some games for them. But I feel for them because they were all alone the whole day. But I also engaged a neighbor to be checking on them. But it is the hustle, guys. When people say out there that they are hustling, I don't know how they hustle or bustle, but they always say everybody has their own hustle. And why was it too difficult for me? It's because I bought timber without knowing the kind of place I was buying. And this is a lesson I've learned. Before I decide to buy timber, especially where somebody bought trees and then cut them and left branches. Before I buy, I must actually try to ask neighbors or investigate about that place. This is one lesson I've just banked in my, ATM, and I'm free to use it now. Because actually, the owner of that land is a terrible, terrible, horrible, I don't know which other vocabulary to use, but malicious, vicious, and all that. Oh, but guys, let's pray for Tanzania. We've always sung that East Africa is a peaceful place, a place of beauty with a full tourism. We've talked about land of, when you look at that song on East African anthem, I want to just play a little bit of it, not full. East African anthem, guys. Just pay attention. Yeah, so this is how our East African anthem goes. Let's skip this. All right. Welcome so much, XVZY. Thank you so much for being top fan number 1. Mahmoud Alish Bakri, welcome. XYZ is saying 67. What do you mean? Melka Kalminder 8587 says hello from Sweden. Welcome so much from Sweden. Is it Sweden or Sweden? I have students who tell me it is Sweden and I tell them it's Sweden. Which one? Is the teacher right or the students? Sweden or the students Sweden? I'm just joking. XVZ says hi from Brazil. Welcome so much from Brazil, my brother. From the picture, I hope that is the thing. You know, sometimes we make a blunder of defining whether the whoever is communicating is a teacher. Why am I saying this? It's because I've just seen a word teacher and they say there is something in language about what you see and what you say. Anyway, let me go on. Melka, oh, the teacher is right. Oh, thumbs up. Let's like the video. Let's like the video. Okay. So I'm so appreciative to come on this channel and share something about Tanzania. And it's so sad. One of the traumatizing news is to hear that a lot of people are possibly dead. There is fear that a lot of people have died in Tanzania. And of course, the opposition said 700. And it's a very sad moment. That is why I started my video by playing the East African anthem. And the first part says, God protect East Africa and give us peace. Let us be able to satisfy our targets or goals. So what's happening? Why is Tanzania in fracas? Remember, there's a time Suluhu came up and she was actually blaming Kenya. Malcolm Minder says yes. Maybe I'm trying to check on what maybe that response is to. I'm not so sure. But actually, it's so sad that Tanzania has, in the 3 days of mayhem and fracas, they have lost a lot of people. And the report from opposition is that they have possibly lost about 700 people. And most times from my experience, I've been checking on Cote d'Ivoire, I've been checking on Cameroon, Ghana, I've checked on Seychelles and so many other countries during election moment. And sometimes what is said might be happening. Talam Sultan of says Azerbaijan. I think that is a kind of greeting. So you say salam and the answer is Azerbaijan. Okay. So which is this Gulf? Zedequaz Sores. Hi, welcome. I really appreciate those who have given already their likes. Thumbs up for me. All right, I really appreciate. And I just sit calmly here discussing politics. And it's not just for fun. It is because I'm actually wishing that the best happens. I'm actually wishing that we have a hand serving Tanzanians. Where is the international world, like international bodies that we know, SADC and EAC among others? Where are they? All right? I'm just wondering, where are they to serve Tanzania? Malkaminda is asking, is this events due to election? Of course. You remember elections that happened in Tanzania? From the report, it happens to be a sham because what is happening is that Samia was actually running against herself. So ballot boxes were written Mama, another one Samia, another one Suluhu. So automatically she was just running against herself. There was no one who was vying against her. She had already blocked Tunduli, she had already blocked Jadema, and there was no one vying, okay? So this is the hardest truth that we have to face. Talan Sultan of says send her the son. Hey, you are really dropping them vocabulary. So from the East African anthem, we are supposed to actually have peace and we are supposed to have our progress. But how can we have progress when a country is really retrogressive through the leaders? How can leaders want to be dictatorial in this era? Is it era or era? I think most times I've used it as era. In this era, you know? Yeah. Talan says America. Is that American language really? I can see it's German, kind of German. San. Anyway, it is what it is. Let's go to the second anthem. Not the second stanza, but the chorus of the East African anthem. And this is what it says. Alright guys, I'm back. I don't know what happened. Something happened. It happens when you are presenting and then can't be accessed anymore. But for sisters, Sweden, Brazil, and all over the place. So Melka Kalma Hey, that name is giving me hell to spell, but let me try. Melka Kalmhinder. Oh, Kalminder. Melka, Malcolm Minder. Oh, yeah, I've mastered it, all right. Malcolm Minder says that it is very sad that many countries around the world are experiencing threats towards their democracies. Look at USA with Trump. Even my country. Yeah, I've been watching America. I've been watching America personally, and I saw the time there was a war between Trump and Elon Musk. Then it came to a time when the president of South Africa came to, you know, South Africa and which other country went to America, and Trump was really trashing them down. Trump has been working against all the immigrants and all the policies that have been working for America to actually let America be like a first world place, a developed nation, a mother of all the people. He is actually pinging, and I wanted to do some video on him. Maybe I just got to get more from Melka Minder because he seems to really have details about America. I've been doing some video, though I only did two, and there was a problem somewhere, I don't know why. Then I didn't do more. But when you look at Trump, Trump says he doesn't give a damn. For him, he just says things and that is it. He decided to kill everything that any former regime did and restructure America in a way that is not very good. Yeah, the two parties in America can't accept an agreement on the budget. It means that the government has shut down. True. When a budget that runs the country or a nation cannot be agreed upon by two parties, that is clearly a fall. Okay? Yeah, so I'm looking at the East African anthem. The chorus tells us that East Africa is supposed to be protected, and people should be sensitized so that they improve. It also tells us that togetherness or unity is the only kind of protection. When you talk about ngao, ngao is like the only veil or super, something you hold onto to make Africa strong, or East Africa. The second stanza tells us that citizenship or patriotism and togetherness is the only foundation of unity, and people should protect peace and freedom. Yeah, can you see that? So that they grow as a nation. But what is Suluhu doing? Suluhu has been suffocating this kind of environment, and even currently, I feel like there is frustration of citizens. Let's just look at this. The protesters unhappy with an election that... Yeah, so when you look at this, these were protesters that were unhappy with the election results. And then boom, from nowhere, blackout. No communication, no internet, no whatever. So citizens went to the streets, and especially the young uprising. And this is what happened. They destroyed stuff all over the place. And we saw live bullets. We had live bullets as protests were ongoing. And in the process of people running around there, especially in Namanga borders, yeah, especially Namanga borders. By Friday night, it was actually protests which were engaging the youth and the police in a running battle. Even at night, the process continued. Malcolm Minder, 85-87, tells us that only absolutely necessary functions are active. Police, healthcare, those sort of things. But many people who are working for the government have lost their jobs due to lack of money. Really? It's such a bad situation in America. So Trump is taking America down the drain. I don't know why people even voted for him, but I think it was a reaction election just to make sure that the former government was not in. And sometimes these are the mistakes we do. Even in Kenya, when I look at why they voted for Ruto, it's actually a reactional kind of election, with people voting for a certain person because of the current situation and refusing even to consider a certain candidate who might be very functional. Yeah. Thomas Kulis says hedge polisk. Hedge polisk. What is polisk? Polisk? You also asked it polisk? No, I've not said anything to do with that. I don't know where the question is coming from. But I'm telling you, I don't know whether it's a greeting also. You know, I'm ignorant in some languages. Melkaminder says, yes, many people act out of anger, not with wisdom or knowledge. Yeah. And I think many voters have a problem. When it comes to election, they just decide, let's go for so and so. But they never assess the worth of that person. Now, I'm looking at the situation of even Kenya and many other places. You realize that people regret after even 1 year or two. That means that there was a reactional, kind of emotional voting, and it's quite dangerous. I don't know. I just don't know how we will get out of this. But this is why we do reactions like this on video channels. And we believe that as people continue watching us, they'll be aware that there is a better way of voting. Actually, picking a leader is not something you just have to use your emotions. You really have to research, listen about, and not to propaganda, but people are researching about these leaders, telling you, I listen a lot to political analysts from different countries, whether it's US, whether it's UK, whether it's Russia, whether it's Ethiopia, Somalia, Nigeria, and all that. Why? Because I just want to understand. I just want to understand politics. And look at Jamaica. Jamaica, people are not using emotions. They used a lot of intelligence. And when I was really watching the election process and even campaigns, I saw most of them were using their sense. And one thing I'll also assure individuals is that our Gen Z, that group is being blamed for nothing. They are very, 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 very informed, and they are very ready to share that information. Maybe some of them may not be even voting, but if people listen to what they say, sometimes they come out just to shout about things, but from whatever voices they are giving, they speak sense, because they make us aware of a lot of things we were not even informed about. They are technocrats. They know a lot of technology, and they really have time to sit down and research about people. So sometimes if you listen to the Gen Z, as they are being trashed down, they have a lot of correct information. But I don't say all the time, I just say sometime. And I looked at Jamaica, I looked at Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Ghana, Seychelles. If you follow those countries, and I tried to compare to US, and I was like, there's something missing here. I didn't like when Trump went back to United States as the president, okay? But anyway, let's just continue with what we were discussing. Tanzania, I'm diverting my attention now. Personally, I work as a teacher. I work as a teacher in Kenya. And of course, we go through a lot of experiences. We are so informed also because we have time to research. But we are being underutilized because you may not get room to do so much as a teacher. You will only teach and go home. You will only push students to the exam and wait for the results. Yeah, I am. You guessed right, Minder. Your guess was so right. Thumbs up for you. Yeah, you just had a right guess. And that's why I love politics and analysis of so many things, including social, on my other channel, Edutainment for Us. I show political and economic plus classes. If you have watched me on Edutainment for Us, of course, I've pinned all my channels here. I have 4 channels, one for teaching and reactions towards social matters more, but I've begun to integrate the political aspects. And when it comes to Live Saga TV, I do political analysis and reactions, and I also do some sort of documentaries on death, though I've not done of late any. So the network is quite poor today. The network is quite poor. I don't know. And the bundles are also seeping out so fast. So I'll try to reach 30 minutes so that I don't keep tiring you on and off. And also go to my Facebook page and post some things because it's a professional page that is earning, though very little. I don't know. Give us a break and at least do something for us Kenyans. You work and post a lot of things on Facebook, but the views earn you very little. I don't know for whatever reason. But now Tanzania, guys, is not a very interesting thing to look at. And what I can say is Suluhu has let down Tanzanians because now a lockdown on October 30th, deploying soldiers and police in the country's largest cities a day after election turns to be a very violent situation. And the gunfire, the tear gases, and all that have become a taming moment, but at the same time, deadly. And we saw army slamming criminals. They call them criminals in quotes because these were not criminals. They were just protesters who are not happy with the sham of an election. How can a president run against herself? The opposition was not there and she's running against herself. Then we see the results, 98% across. That's a sham. Malcolm Minder tells us, I think it's very important that we keep talking about politics. It's the biggest threat of dictatorship. Of course, for sure, in any country, politics that is kept under the waters makes everything dark. And you go to a common citizen, ask them anything about politics, they don't know. You ask them why they vote for such person, they don't know. You ask them why they follow some ideologies the leaders say, they do not even know. So politics has become a tool that most of our leaders are using to actually decide our life, shape our life. And it's not only political, but politics shapes our economic life, it shapes our social life. Because through that politics, some things affect our education, medical enhancement, economic growth, or financial empowerment, among other things. And most people do not see this thing. If only people saw the connection between politics and those other dots in life, they would appreciate that politics is one of the things we cannot stop talking about. There are times people see you talking about politics and tell you, stop talking about it. How can we change situations? But we can only change situations if we understand the politics of the day. If we understand our leaders currently, the future leaders, the mistakes we've done in life, about choosing the leaders, and understanding deeply into how politics defines our foundation of life. There is someone who came, Jalahosa from Pakistan. How is Pakistan? When we hear Pakistan, we just think of guns and whatever. I don't know if that is the case, but we hope it's not. Okay, so Jalahosa says, where are you from? Anyone who has watched me knows where I'm from. Of course, I'm from Kenya. Kenya is my motherland, and with problems here and there, but we are trying to dare the air. But what would you say is the biggest threat in democracy in Tanzania? Tanzania has been threatened by dictatorship. And for years, of course, we have been seeing a dominant party taking over. Okay, like how would a country be led by only one party? And we don't have an oppositional party which is strong. And if it is strong, it's frustrated. When you look at Chadema, for example, and Tunduli, why were they frustrated? When you look at Mother Karua, Boniface, Mwangi, and there was someone known as, someone, Mwashigadi or somebody from Coast, who went through Lunga Lunga to Tanzania, and they were really, really frustrated. It's because of dictatorship in Tanzania. Tanzania, actually, it's like the leader says and the citizens follow. When you look at the rallies that were conducted, and I think I did a video here, the rallies that were conducted in Tanzania, they were merely kind of advertisements. And the songs could praise Suluhu just like that. Okay? Somebody says here, Jola Hosa says, where are you from? I've said Kenya. And says, you are blackish. Of course, Kenya, we should be black. Yeah? We should be black, okay? Yeah. That's our color. Then one of our journalists was killed in Kenya since 2 years ago. His name was Ashad Sharif. Yeah, we got this information. That was during the 2023. Yeah, and it is too bad that in Kenya sometimes, what happens is during these post-election moments, of course that dictatorship operates because we'll have some orders about shoot and kill. You've seen Kenya, young people challenging the president on that shoot in the leg, and then our CS Murkomen saying shoot to kill. And sometimes the police just turn to be, I can say, brainless. Is it brainless or what exactly? Because when it comes to moments like that, I even did a video and posted here. Like you are walking in a town, the police just follow you and beat you up. Like you are even going somewhere, they begin interrogating you. And that's exactly what has also happened in Tanzania. It's a shame. It's a shame that in this era, we are having democracy frustrated and smothered, so that leaders want to use that mantle of leadership to kill or frustrate democracy. What a nightmare is this? So, of course, we've heard about Suluhu trying to escape from Tanzania. And as we speak, we are not so sure where she is, because while some were saying she's running to, I don't know, Kenya, I don't think she can run to Kenya. She's not a friend of Kenya as such. She has really said a lot of foul things about Kenya and even worked against Kenya in policies to do with business in the last 3 months. So she may not be in Kenya. I think she can run easily to Uganda because Museveni practices exactly what she wants to practice in Tanzania. And we also know that she is a friend of a lot of sheikhs in UAE. So she might also easily go there. So let's just watch a video there as we end this video. We won't take a long time here.